Jostein Flo wins another header.
There are games you expect to be entertaining, and then there are games that could change the entire story of a World Cup. Brazil versus Norway is one of those games, because this isn't just a clash between two national teams. It's a battle between football royalty and a nation chasing its greatest moment. And here's the crazy part. The pressure isn't on Norway, it's all on Brazil. 5 World Cup titles, generations of legends, a country that believes every tournament belongs to them. Meanwhile, Norway arrives with almost nothing to lose and everything to gain. And that's exactly what makes this match dangerous, because history has shown us something terrifying for favorites. The teams with nothing to lose are often the ones that create chaos. Think about it. Every World Cup has an unexpected story. A giant gets knocked out, a hero appears from nowhere, a nation celebrates something nobody believed could happen. Could Norway be writing that story right now? To understand this matchup, we have to go back. For decades, Brazil has been football's ultimate symbol. When people think of the World Cup, they think of yellow shirts, beautiful goals, and legendary players. From Pelé to Ronaldo, from Ronaldinho to Neymar, Brazil has produced icons that shaped the game itself. But recent history has been complicated. Brazil hasn't won the World Cup in over 2 decades. For a normal country, that wouldn't sound like a crisis. For Brazil, it feels like an eternity. Every tournament begins with hope and ends with enormous expectations, and every failure becomes another wound. That's why this current squad carries so much weight on its shoulders. They're not only trying to win matches, they're trying to restore a legacy. Now look at Norway. Their football history couldn't be more different. They've spent years watching the world's biggest tournaments from home. For a long time, they were outsiders, a talented nation perhaps, but never genuine contenders. Then a new generation arrived. Young players started appearing in Europe's biggest clubs. Suddenly, Norway wasn't dreaming anymore. They were competing, and at the center of it all is Erling Haaland, a player who looks like he was built in a laboratory to score goals. Powerful, fast, relentless. He's the kind of striker defenders hate facing because he needs almost nothing to create danger. But here's something many people forget. Football matches are rarely decided by superstars alone. They're decided by systems, by discipline, by teamwork. And Norway's greatest strength may actually be their organization. This team doesn't panic. They defend together. They attack together. They suffer together. And that unity could become their secret weapon. Brazil, meanwhile, prefers freedom, creativity, movement, improvisation. They want games to become open because open games favor talented players. Norway wants exactly the opposite. They want this match to become uncomfortable, slow, physical, frustrating, because every minute that passes without a Brazilian goal increases their belief. Imagine the scoreboard reading 0-0 after an hour. Suddenly the pressure begins to shift. Brazil starts forcing passes. The crowd becomes nervous. Norway starts believing, and belief can be incredibly powerful. Just ask any underdog that has shocked the world before. This is why knockout football is different from league football. You don't need to be better for an entire season. You only need one magical night, one inspired performance, one unforgettable moment. And Norway knows it. The question is whether Brazil knows it too, because underestimating opponents has destroyed many great teams before. And if Brazil enters this match thinking victory is guaranteed, they could be walking into a trap. But there's one more layer to this story, one player who could become the difference between glory and heartbreak. And surprisingly, it might not be a striker. When football fans talk about big matches, they usually focus on goals. Who will score? Who will miss? Who will become the hero? But sometimes the most important player is the one nobody notices. The midfield battle could decide everything here, because whoever controls the center of the pitch controls the rhythm of the game. Brazil wants to move the ball quickly. They want to create spaces. They want to pull defenders out of position. If they succeed, Norway could be in serious trouble. But Norway has another idea. Close the spaces. Make every pass difficult. Turn this beautiful Brazilian machine into a frustrated one. And frustration can be dangerous. The longer a favorite struggles, the more pressure it feels. You start rushing. You start making mistakes. You start doubting yourself. That's when underdogs become dangerous. Then there are the substitutions. Brazil's bench is loaded with talent, fresh legs, creative players, game changers. In tournaments, depth often separates champions from everyone else. Norway doesn't have the same luxury. Their margin for error is much smaller. That's why their strategy must be nearly perfect. Defend with discipline, take their chances, and above all, stay alive. Because if this game reaches the final 20 minutes level, something remarkable can happen. Fear. Not fear for Norway, fear for Brazil, because they know what an upset would mean. Headlines, criticism, questions. Another painful chapter in World Cup history. Pressure doesn't always make players stronger. Sometimes it makes them cautious. Sometimes it makes them freeze. And if Norway senses that hesitation, they will attack. This is where heroes are born. Perhaps Haaland scores the biggest goal of his career. Perhaps a goalkeeper produces a legendary save. Perhaps an unknown player becomes a national icon overnight. That's the magic of football. Nobody truly knows what will happen. Before kickoff, experts make predictions. After the final whistle, football writes its own story. Brazil may have the bigger names, they may have the greater history, they may even be the favorites. But Norway has something equally powerful: belief. And belief has carried underdogs to impossible victories throughout sporting history. So when these two teams walk onto the pitch, remember this: one nation is trying to protect its legacy, the other is trying to create one. One nation expects victory, the other dreams of it. And sometimes, dreams are stronger than expectations. When the final whistle blows, either Brazil will continue its journey toward another World Cup crown, or Norway will produce a result that fans will talk about for generations. Because this isn't just another round of 16 match, it's a collision between history and hope. And somewhere in those 90 minutes, football may give us another miracle.